What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Money Talks, episode 7 on Wednesday, July 28th. Oop, there we go. So, we have some big news as far as what we need to be tracking for the markets looking forward. You can clearly see right here what's on the screen. Delta variant, that is going to be very, very important. Delta variant, that is going to be very, very important coming up here. So that's something that we need to keep an eye on. And hold on. All right. Another thing to piggyback off that is the new CDC guidelines on masks. So that's going to be covered in that and shutdowns and what everything's going to be looking like here in the next 6 months. Maybe, we'll see what happens. But to go through our list of stocks that we always take a look at every episode, we have the S&P 500 here. It was down 0.02% today, 82 cents or 8.82 points. Close of 4,400. 0.64. So you can see it reached an all-time high, took a little bit of a dip, and it's kind of leveling off. These will just keep on going up. NASDAQ up 0.7%, 102.01 points, with a close of 14,762.58. Dow Jones down 0.36% or 127.59, finishing the day off at 34,930.93. And I just want to point out while we're in this tab that the Dow Jones broke 35,000. So, big times. We also got a gold tier. We're going to look at the year chart, or we'll look at 6 months because that's what we've been looking at. So we took a little bit of the dip there. We've been kind of coming up. We've been watching this, and it's starting to look like it's coming back up. We'll see how that goes. But gold was up $7 today to finish at $1,815.90 per ounce. We have silver, 6-month spread. You can see it's continuing to go down, downward trend. But it was up today 14 cents to finish at $25.11 per ounce. Next, we have platinum up on the list. First time I've ever gotten that right on the first try. Got the 6-month look there, kind of looking a little steady, a little bit going down there, but platinum was also up today $9 to finish at $1,084.60. We have palladium, also first time I've been able to say that on the first try. Continuing to hold off on going up here. Maybe we'll start to see a trend up. We'll see. But palladium was up $7.40 today to finish at $2,662 per ounce.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Mr. James. Welcome to the stream. Basically got all the boring stuff out of the way. Oh, and Bitcoin was up, broke 40,000 again. So Bitcoin's going up. We'll see how that trend continues. It's really spiked. It went from under 30 to over 40 in a matter of like 2 weeks or so. So we'll see how Bitcoin does. It's up 4.8%, it looks, in the last 24 hours. But welcome, Mr. Saltwater Bets, to the stream.
Thank you. Yeah, the Bitcoin topic is certainly interesting. I mean, as far as stocks, I'll just kick off by saying that, it looks like right now, incoming economic data shows that stimulus-fueled growth is currently outpacing, supply side capacity as far as oil goes. So higher inflation is probably going to remain likely there. And I would just say equities obviously outperforming bonds and cash. If you're going to look at your multi-asset portfolio this time, equity should outperform all those. So probably want to focus on that. As far as my pick, let me go pull that up for tonight. Let me go see what I have. Excuse me.
Yep.
So, I have a few. I figured I'm just going to do a full parlay. So, tonight I have the Marlins winning, the White Sox winning, and the Angels winning. So, a free game parlay. Let me just quickly put that in. The one I did for myself 2 nights ago, I didn't drive down, but it did win free game parlay. So, let me go see what it would pay out tonight if you did bet on it.
A little bit of number crunching in the background.
Yeah. And this is the fun part, is just to see. This is at least from DraftKings payouts. Every, sports bet book or whatever pays out a little different, but it shouldn't vary too much. Let me just go see what this would come out to really quick. So if you were to bet, let me see.
How much money are we winning?
To bet 50, you would win $241. So
Damn.
Not bad at all.
That's
to go really big. 100 to pay out 482. So almost 5 times your money with the odds. Having the Marlins winning, the White Sox winning, and the Angels winning, plus 382 are the odds total for that.
Well, that's a pretty good ROI right there.
Yeah. I mean, just from following all these teams, too, from baseball, the Orioles are really not a good team. And then the Rockies against the Angels. I mean, the Angels really have the stronger pitching startup. And even the Royals are more of an upset against the White Sox. So these are, teams that I've watched throughout baseball. I mean, these are definitely steadier picks than choosing the Blue Jays over the Red Sox. I've seen a lot of people go with that lately, and I really don't know why. I mean, yes, it's been close, but I'd have a lot more confidence in these frees than a pick like that. So have at it.
Right, and confidence is definitely key when making those picks. So.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. But yeah. So tonight, I wanted to kind of discuss, and we can go into like the whole supply and demand thing overall for the market, including oil and everything. But I just wanted to pull up the news on the Delta variant currently, because I've been hearing a lot more about this, and this kind of, not to be an alarmist, but this kind of reminds me back when COVID was first starting up. It was kind of like in the news, things started to, come up, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, the market's down, 20%. The Dow Jones is down 20% a day, and that's when you really kind of realize, like, oh, this is a thing. But just to keep an eye out, just remember that if countries, which we're already seeing, like Australia, we saw, who was the other one? I think it's somewhere in here, the OCTA, so that is in the Pacific. I forget which country that was, but we've seen some lockdowns with this new Delta variant, and so just keep that on the radar. Just watch out for it. I don't think that's really going to be as big as COVID, but you could maybe see some pullback in the market in general with some investors being a little wary of a new COVID strain and what COVID did last time to the market. And to piggyback off that, the CDC mask guidelines, you can see new CDC, or this is from Houston Chronicle, new CDC guidelines set to New CDC guidelines set off rush to reimpose mask mandates. So, again, we could see some of the early days of COVID coming back, but I'm not too sure. I don't think that's very likely, but just keep an eye out. Everybody stay safe out there, and make sure that you stay healthy and just be vigilant of what's in the news and what's going on. So that was that news. I think we're going to just go into some stock picks, but again, just be careful of the market as far as, and I guess we can touch on this now, supply and demand. But if everything gets shut down, or if everything, we're seeing a lot of shortages. You've seen like beef shortages, chicken shortages, oil shortages, gas shortages, all these minor shortages popping up. Prices are inflating. Year over year, May saw a 5% inflation rate. So there's all these things that are going into it, and people can't find work. So there's a labor shortage. There's so many factors that we're feeling. And I remember when this pandemic first started, a lot of people that I go to for my news and other things were saying that with COVID, you could see in the future, this almost rubber band effect, I think they called it, where it's, you still have things that echo throughout time for the near future, where supply chains will be disrupted. You could see inflation because of a lot of the spending, a lot of small businesses closing. So it's going to be interesting to see how this overall plays a factor, and how the markets react, and in the future, if we're going to see these shortages, or how we're going to survive as an economy and as a country. So, but
yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, shortages are very interesting because they even opened an account for a lady today that works for like an MKS Instruments company. It's on the purchasing engineering side, and she, right off of this point, talked to me today about how they work with semiconductors, and there's a huge shortage of that. Actually, the lead time to get semiconductors for what they need is 1 year to 2 years, which is crazy. I mean, that's absolutely insane. You've seen it with COVID, all the work from home, shortage of semiconductors and manufacturing. And I think you're seeing this since what I've found in some articles since the 1970s. So delivery time delays, they've stretched to levels where it's, seen in high inflation environments like right now. And there's actually an interesting Evercore survey that came out that I read this morning, where it says how are inventories, right? It shows like a time frame from 2014 to 2021, and pretty much company surveys that came out, they from 2014 to right before COVID hit were basically like saying, our inventory is about 10% higher than it needs to be, right? And this graph looks like it's 10%, fluctuating all the way to 30% before COVID hit. Now we're negative 50%. So, I mean, we just went from like negative 10% on the survey done down to negative 60%, 7/15/2021. So that's just a survey conducted on a lot of companies asking them about their capacity. So not good. That's definitely it. And I think Treasury rates, that comes in the key here. So there's a lot to look at tonight. But I think demand is a large part of it too.
Yeah. And it's huge too, because semiconductors and chips and all these computer components, they go into everything in our lives. I mean, your cell phone, the computer that we're using to live stream, just all of society, your cars, anything, right, has these chips in it. And that's something interesting that you brought up were the chips, because I remember also, and this is going to get into conspiracy land a little bit, but like, there's even some talk, like some people are like, they don't want you to have all this stuff, so they just simply don't make enough of it. So then therefore it's too expensive or too scarce for you to want it. So you just move on. But I don't think that's happening. But, it's just interesting to just kind of think about how something that's so critical to our everyday life, it's just becoming such a scarce resource, and how this whole pandemic's made that really hard to come by. I mean, all of the production, to my knowledge, is in Asia, mostly China. So, this whole pandemic having an epicenter in that country, it makes it really difficult to continue that supply chain. And, kind of work through that. So it's going to be interesting to see how the market in general returns if chip prices go back down once the supply chains get refigured out. I mean, this is probably going to be 5 to 10 years that we're going to be struggling with this and trying to figure it out to see, hey, are we okay, or have we made it through the woods yet? The market's recovered. I mean, the S&P just broke, or I'm sorry, the Dow Jones just broke 35,000 yesterday, or 2 days ago. So that is insane to think about, that the market can be this high, and then we have a shortage on things that are so quintessential to life and so critical to our everyday existence. But the markets will be the markets, and if they pump enough money into it, it'll go to 10,000, or I'm sorry, 100,000. But
yeah, that's what I really want to bring a point back to is like these pandemic-driven shifts in global supply chains. They're boosting demand for industrial automation and things like the chips that we were talking about. So I think even this whole Chips for America Act I was also reading about, it provides $23 billion to domestic production of semiconductors. So there is long growth opportunities in that area, like of chip makers, semiconductor equipment, and applications that would exist within technology. So I think these are good areas to get into now while you have these, I would say a long-term outlook on technology, right?
Right. And I'm just bringing up some news articles here. Ford was a huge one that couldn't get the chips. Chip shortage continues for Apple, AMD, Intel hunkered down for long haul. It's just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely crazy. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're keeping they're able to get their stocks up, like especially Apple. We can look at AMD and Intel later, but I know Apple's just continuing. Doesn't matter. They don't care. It's like, oh, we have a chip shortage. That's kind of critical to our main product line, but hey, you know what? We're going to continue to grow because that's how the market works. But
it looks like as far as the demand by use, I think computers are the highest, followed by communication. So automotive, I think, is at 11% now for the most part. If you look at the market size in billions of the semiconductor end-use market. But down the road, like long term, those automotives for their semiconductor uses is going to go up. That's only inevitable as we go towards this. So.
Right. Yeah, no, that's going to be really critical, especially in electric vehicles and their development. I mean, you look at things now, and there's something with technology. I think it's like memory, but the general rule is like, our technology is growing at an exponential rate. And to keep that going, we need to continue developing all these chips and processors and our technology with the batteries and sensors and computers, all this stuff that goes into like a Tesla or something like that. You're going to need all of that, and you're going to need to continue to develop it if you want to get to where you want to be. The Tesla and all electric vehicles, really, the major thing that they suffer from is their battery, and like, why would I, get an electric vehicle with a battery if I could get a gas operated vehicle or a diesel operated vehicle, where when I have to fill up, it's like, oh, I need a new tank, and you go to a gas station and fill up in a minute when a charger for a car might take an hour. But they've cut down the time now, but that's something that they need to continue to develop. And what do they need? Stuff like this. So it's going to be interesting to even see how that affects the electric vehicle market, not only for the chips, but just the technology in general and how far they can continue to develop. So it's all interwoven and very interesting.
Oh yeah, a lot to look at.
Yep, a lot to keep on on the old brain while you're looking at these stocks and looking at the market in general. One thing in particular, one stock that I want to take a look at in the beginning, which uses some semiconductors, I'm sure. We got Virgin Galactic Holdings, SPCE. Now, I don't remember exactly what I said I thought it was going to go up to, but it's not there. I can tell you that much. But that being said, we did see a 3% gain, or a 3.11% gain, to bring the stock up to 31.19 and to gain another penny in the post market after hours to get up to 31.20. So it's continued to hang in there. We're starting to kind of like level off in that low 30s area. So I think that's going to be the new bottom, hopefully, for that stock. But we'll continue to watch that. And another stock, we got Wish, or Context Logic. Now, James and I, we talked about this stock just personally, you and I, a while back, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks, and I'm trying to bring up the article here, top 20 trending stocks on Wall Street Bets as of Wednesday, July 28th. And I believe this is going to be one of them on this list. Yep, Wish right there. I mean, they got Clover Health on there. They got Apple, AMD, Amazon, Clover, Google, Microsoft, NIO, NIO. So Alibaba, got quite a few on here. But so Starbucks, remember we were talking about Starbucks, UPS. So I don't know how they're gonna go forward with this. We were kind of talking off there, and I was talking about Clover. James and I, we made a very good amount of money. I just brought up Clover here, the 6 month trend, or the 6 month look. And we made well, I wouldn't quite say a killing, but we definitely made a very nasty beating. No, we made a good amount of money on this rise up here. We bought in at about $9 a share. So the Wish went, or I'm sorry, Clover went up 3.35%. So short term, you can see bullish. We'll see. I mean, this would be a very interesting play. Like, just look, for the Redditors, for the apes, for diamond hands out there, this would be a very interesting play as far as, making the stock skyrocket. And then we saw so many people, if you go follow the Reddit or the subreddit for this, there were so many people that we just felt bad for because they were like, oh, we're going to buy 30,000 shares or whatever, or $30,000 worth of shares, as it's like continuing to go down here. But if it goes back up, those people are probably going to sell the moment they break even, or maybe like a little bit above it. And I would not blame them.
Yeah. I personally hate it. I think the time to get in is when we got in, is when we bought it at, $9 and it went up to 28. And then we, sold around 20 and then got at as is tanking. I mean, because when you look at it ever since then, yes, it has gone up to, I think, 15, and then it got pulled back right down. And then a lot of people like Jim Cramer were like, oh, the short sellers are going to get burned when, they miss out on Clover. And it was kind of like this was after it's getting tanked. So it's like he hops on right when it's getting tanked. And then some of these other, sources that are interesting, not when it's on its rise to 20 right after. So I look at it as like a booby trap. There's way too many eyes on it. The dead beaten horse. I mean, could go into it. It could work out, but I'm very anti-Clover now. One stock I like I said, is American Airlines. This, again, is a stock where people were like, selling off, and I talked about last stream how it still had playing room. If you look at it now, it's pretty much back to exactly where it was an entire month ago. So it took a whole month to get back to where it was. This is what it does. almost at $22, and that's still not even near its pre-COVID level.
Right. And
So,
and we'll take a look at American Airlines right after this, but I just wanted to just quickly piggyback on that. Like, I'm not going to personally be investing in this. I want to watch it. I just want to see what people do with it. I think that's entertaining just to watch people, go crazy over this kind of stuff. And then, if it bumps up to, $10, $15 in a day, and not like $10 or $15 in a single day, but I mean like going from 8 or whatever to 10 to 15 in a day, and they start that momentum, I might get in for a day, but that's going to be a very like quick, sudden judgment, like, quick be like, oh, okay, now it's going down. Because if you look here, it was, between this point at $9.64, and then it hit its peak on 6.8. You're talking about 4 days. So that's a very quick. You need to keep your eye on it. And once it takes off, you better have bought in, and, you better get out as soon as possible if you're going to do this. I'm not going to. But I might be on the other end of this, because short selling, I know that's what they're trying to go up against, and I support them in their efforts, but I'm not going to let an opportunity pass me by. Again, I'm trading maybe like 10 shares, 20 shares. I'm not, putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into the stock. So what I do isn't going to do anything. But if it reaches this point again and it takes a bad day, oh, you better bet that, that would be a nice little safe bet for it to continue going down. Because if you buy in at 20, or hell, if you bought for a short on 22 and you just sold it now, you're down at 832 and you make that difference. That's a huge gain. You can ride it up and then you can ride it on the other side. But this is a very risky stock. I do not suggest this at all. But if I were to play that, that's how I would. But next up, American Airlines. So American Airlines was up 0.79%, 17 cents today to close at 21.63, and in the post market it was up 1 cent. It says 0%, but it went up. So let's see here, what do we got here? 1 year trend. Yeah, so for American Airlines, this is going to be interesting because, well, here, let me zoom out a little bit more because COVID. No, there's COVID. There it is. So looking at this trend on this stock, and now, wait, hold on, I need my little drawing utensil. Now that I have my drawing utensil, you can see before COVID, oh, where's my line? Hold on, technical doodle, there we go. All right, so before COVID, you kind of saw this kind of downward trend right here. It was a little steeper over here, and then it kind of managed out. And then right when COVID hit, straight down the pipes it went, just with everything. But this was hit especially hard because of its industry and its nature. And then you had this little rise right. Oh, that kind of looks like a whale. Here, we're gonna give it a little fin there. Oh, that's our little friend, Mr. Whale. Anyway, so yeah, you saw this little trend starting to go back up here. So I really think that this hit resistance at $20 a share, and I think that it's going to be interesting to see where it follows around here. In the, what is this, like the $24 area, I believe. Bye-bye, whale. So when it hits this point of resistance, I think that it's going to be interesting to see how the stock does, because if it hits that $24, $25 mark, but it continues to stay strong, and it pushes through, it's going to be interesting to see how high it's going to go after that. It might not go very high, but who knows?
Yeah, March 15th, it was $25, held around there for a little bit of March, dropped back down to 22, and then back in June, it was almost 26, then went back down.
Right.
So a lot of resistance at the 25, 26 mark.
Right. So I think that it has some gas to get through that. But at the same time, and this is the thing, like you try to follow the trend on it, you try to follow the momentum that you see. Undo.
26 would be great for me for what I bought it at, especially since it's the 52-week high. I think it's very hard. Like, you can follow the patterns, but with their financials being pretty awful and, it's kind of this volatility there, it's really tough to see if it's going to break its point or not.
Yeah, and I'm just going to draw. That was kind of a crappy line. Let's see. Let's clear that. So let's just go in the straight line just so I can kind of make this a little easier. All right, so that's one line. This is going to be the low, right? So we have a high point at about 25.80, 25.90, and all the way down to 19. So right now, let's just draw this line between the low point that we just had and this current point closed today. You can see the trajectory of this line. It's not going down, obviously. Let me get a little doodle out so we can just do and do. There we go. So it's going up, but my only concern would be going from that point to this point. That's all I'm seeing, because before, at this point, this high to this high, you're on an upward trend. That makes sense. But it just took a significant loss between this point and this point, as you can see the line indicated there. But we've had a lot more buyback and stock increasing here. But you can kind of see that pattern on a larger scale. Is it going to continue with our line here? If I can get my doodle out. Is it going to continue on the downward trend that we're seeing here? Or is it going to continue going up and then hit that $25, $26 resistance point and continue past 30 back to pre-COVID levels? I think that's likely in the 6-month outlook, and that's gonna be a little lower, something like that. But I think that's possible, but it's gonna be very dependent on this new Delta variant and how the entertainment industry and commercial industry, or the what's the word I'm looking for? Not commercial, the entertainment industry. It's gonna be interesting to see how that all works out.
Yeah, it's funny. I think a lot of analysts went from sell ratings to now neutral and to hold, so they're kind of like, wait, hold on, let's see. Not saying this is a strong buy, but
yeah, I mean,
everyone seemed to be changing their positions. I think actually, I always love going to analyst ratings. Yeah, 4 different analysts all went from, selling to neutral. Even in one case, neutral to buy. So that's always a good sign.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go to Yahoo Finance, like I have pulled up right here, short-term bullish, mid-term neutral, long-term bullish. So they're expecting this to go up.
Bullish, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and while we're looking in the long term, that's what we call a segue. And oil, we were talking about oil. Oh, look at that double segue. Boom, ExxonMobil. Here we go, baby. Big oil. All right. So we continue to see this downward trend right here, right around Earth. Came back up, and it's kind of just playing around. It's coming back a little bit, so we'll see how this does. But they do have a short-term and mid-term rating of bearish, which is no good, and then long-term neutral. How's our oil supply looking?
See, my You know what's interesting is I think Chevron would be an interesting one to look at now that we're on the oil topic. So I think, ExxonMobil is a little bit behind the ball. Some of those, I think Chevron would be a stronger leader. So,
Let's bring it up here. Chevron CVX. All right. CVX. What do we got? We got a bullish short-term, bearish mid-term, and a neutral long-term out view. Max. Let's look at their max chart. Yeah, I mean, they look a little bit better right now than Exxon did. I'm just trying to pull up a nice chart here. So, what's their dividends here? Does it say 1.34?
let me get a look.
Chevron pays $5.36 per share with a dividend yield of 5.05%. So, good dividend stock. We got last Thursday, June 10th, I believe, was their last dividend. Oh, no, let's see their news. What Chevron got? Top ranked safe dividend stock with 5.3% yield. Chevron announces quarterly dividend. Earnings preview: Caterpillar, Chevron, ExxonMobil. So, yeah, I mean, Chevron definitely looks like a good dividend stock to be investing in. We also got AT&T, it looks like, but I don't know too much about that. I used to trade that. But, yeah, I mean, this isn't a stock that you're going to become a millionaire overnight with, but, with enough time, you could definitely become a millionaire, Given any amount of time, anybody can become a millionaire. It's called inflation.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I think of a lot of these stocks is everyone's continuing to adjust everything because I don't think for just so many stocks we touched upon that they would be where they are today. I think it's the ones we touched upon, last week with Visa, Starbucks, and just so many stocks in the pandemic where people are like, there's no way it's going to go up. It's done. It's over. And it continues to blow everyone out of the water. So.
Yep. And I just brought up Visa since you touched on it. I mean, yeah, continuing to go up. I mean, it's just incredible. You got Visa. Let's pull up Apple. Okay. There we go. So, yeah, I mean, they're hitting a little bit of resistance right here at like 150 for Apple. Dropped down to 144 or 145. But, I mean, these stocks are just, if it falls again like this, just, I would want to get in and just continue to hold it for a long term.
Yeah. Good long-term plays there.
Yeah, as long as, the markets stay open and all that. But, any other stocks that you wanted to take a look at in particular?
Let me think for a second.
All right.
Well, I touched upon most of them, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about AMD. Whoa, up 7.58%. Damn. Yeah, this stock is poised to go up. Bullish across the board. This is a good pick.
Oh, yeah, if you bought it in hell like my friend did, he'd done very well. He got it, I think, when it was in the 70s, and that's when I wanted to get it, and I was like, I backed away from it, and now it's 97.
I mean, it was $2. Well, no, that's 2015. Let's see here.
Yeah, it's near a buy rating. Seems like analysts like it, and it's long term is very good on it. It's a lot cheaper than getting into NVIDIA, right? And I think it's a nice, with how semiconductors are going, it's seriously something I will be investing in myself, just to have that in my portfolio. But I think the outlook on it's better than Intel and some other ones out there. But it's also not trading at, like, 597 a share, whatever NVIDIA's trading at now with the split or whatever they did. I feel like it'd be a little too high for me to touch.
NVIDIA. Let's give that one a look. Woo! I mean, you want to talk about a skyrocket, man. They were at, and I remember trading this stock too. I should have held it. It was at around $50 at the bottom of the pandemic. Yeah, it's at 195 now. That is just insane. Absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
And they just had a 4-to-1 split. Dividend.
And it's a split, yeah. It's not even. It was like 575 or something insane.
Yeah. Yep. I would. I mean, yeah, there's a shortage, but I mean that thing just skyrocketed. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, let's look at the list we got here. We got AMD, we did Wish, Tesla. How is Tesla doing these days? Yeah, starting to go down there. Bearish across the board. Will this be Tesla's last stand? Dun dun dun. I mean, look at that trend. That's just, as soon as it hits this line, going up after a dive, it just continues to go down, which is just insane. So, and I mean, you look at some low points, and the low points, they're not as steep, but it's almost like they drop. Let's put it this way: they drop more than they come back, so that's causing that downward trend. The low points, again, not as severe of a downward decline, but again, those upward trends are not the deal.
Here's why I hate it personally. Just not even going on trends or anything. Just talk about the PE ratio. This is what I love for a car company. Its PE ratio is 648.28. That is so fucking ridiculous. It is just laughable, right? And I think any stock or company that has a PE ratio that high, it's just asking one day for its ass to get kicked, and it will. I think once all the other EV competitors come into play, this stock is cruising for a bruising, and that's why its outlook is it's all in the red on Yahoo Finance. I just think any company to have a PE ratio of 648, it makes no logic at all. It's insane.
I mean, their PE ratio is higher than the price of the stock. That should tell you enough.
The PE ratio is higher than the price of the stock. I've never seen this. I've seen PE ratios of 40, 60, and you're like, okay, this is already insane, but it might make sense for the industry. When you look at this, a 648 PE ratio. I mean, it'd have to continue to grow past its earnings to go up. I mean, at that point, do you think it's going to really do that if you have like a 10-year outlook on it? I don't know. I mean, personally, for me, people could think whatever they want about the stock. If you like it, great. My take on it, no. Exit it now.
Right. And I'll say this much. I did trade it, and I made some money off it, but that was early on. But yeah, as far as, I mean, Tesla is an incredible business model, incredible cars. I'll give them that. But, when, and we were kind of talking about this before, once the government subsidies are no longer there, right? Once everybody starts making electric vehicles and it's not a new thing, they're not going to have the same outlook on the market, their prices are going to have to go up. That people aren't going to want to buy them as much. But maybe by that time, kind of like what I was saying with the chips before, with the, they just want to limit the what people are able to buy. Maybe at this point, the gas vehicle has become a thing of the past and everything is electric. And it's like, all right, well, what are you going to do? What's your alternative? Really, you're going to get a gas vehicle once, 90% of the gas stations shut down? Yeah, good luck with that. And then maybe, people go into this. So, I don't know. It's going to be, whoa. Oh, my WebEx crashed. That's always wonderful. I don't know why it does that. I just don't know. Thankfully, I think it's going to be the same meeting. I just got to join back in. Maybe not. I got to reinvite our friend James. I'm just glad that I caught that one early because I remember, I think it was the last time it crashed, and it was after or towards the end of the stream. I wasn't able to get him in, but sent him a new invite. And hold on here. I just want to bring up my other stuff on my other screen. Alrighty. All right, so that's all set, and we're just going to wait for him to rejoin. But, yeah, I mean, like I was saying, maybe at some point Tesla will be, it'll level out, but right now I'm not feeling too comfortable about Tesla's outlook. Back. Hey, there he is. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but I think, early on the pandemic, I think a lot of people, including my dad, were like, oh, there's no way it can go up. And it really did go up to like 700, 800 in the summer. And for anyone that got in early and did that, congrats. But, I think the ship has kind of sailed for that. I mean, since then, it has not rallied close to that 800 mark. It's been really in the 600s for a while now. And when you look at a PE ratio that high, the gravy train's not going to last forever. I think it's so insane to see a PE ratio like that.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine, or, well, not imagine because it happened, but, like, look back in history, right? When I was first trading Tesla, I remember it was like, oh, that's so risky. That's so, volatile and all this stuff, right? And then nowadays it's like, oh, a stock, jumped by 50%. Yeah, seems normal.
Yeah. I mean, there's like that, but I mean, it really is kind of like you got to get your stance where it's like, how does a company like that keep growing for them? I mean, with the competitors and everything, I don't know if they can really grow at that rate. I mean, I haven't looked at their business plan or model, but I mean, it's hard for me to imagine to find that rate. For other companies, I can maybe understand it, like Starbucks. I'm like, okay, it continues to go up, but this one, it's tough. It's future outlook. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too confident in it. I wouldn't trade it, but I just want to check in on it, see how it was doing, and not so good.
Yeah, curious. It's like, it was one of those big summer ones that people were hot on about.
Yep. So we're going to take a look now at Starbucks, since we've been talking about it, you brought it up there. I mean, Starbucks just took off right here. I mean, it went from, what was that, like 109 to 125, 126, and then dropped back down to 122. That was, I'm assuming, right around their dividend. Yeah, something like that. But, yeah, Starbucks doing big things out there as well.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I forgot to mention last time when we talked about, which person goes into a Dunkin' versus Starbucks, which is hysterical. It's spot on. And I went to Starbucks again last night. And yeah, it's like the moms, the kids, your hipsters, and just people that are looking to get stuff done. College students, people working. So 2 different atmospheres. But another thing is that stocks that are putting the E and ESG, there's this huge, I think, factor now when people look at a company and their positions. What are they doing environmentally? And I did do a case study in college on Starbucks and what they had been doing as far as their environmental outlook. And I think, that is going to be a key factor in stock growth. So, I mean, as long as companies are hitting that, whether it's transportation, whatever it is, I think that helps Starbucks' cases, because they're very good at being, at least making efforts in it. I mean, obviously, they can only be as progressive as they can, being in the coffee sphere there.
Right. That's kind of difficult, like you were kind of saying, for a coffee shop, well, how much can you really do as a coffee shop? And, well, they're kind of showing you. But I just drew a line here between the pandemic low and the current market value. Again, just showing trends, kind of seeing where the market is. And you can see how severe of a line that is. And almost every time, and this is why I like Yahoo, because, you can do these little lines. Every time almost every time it hits this invisible line, it continues to go up. Now, it went over a little bit here, but we're right back on that trend. Every time you hit this line, and I'm going to put this point down to where that low was, you can see every time it's over that line. So, this might fall back down to, the high 115 to like 120, somewhere in there. That might be like the next low point, and then it'll continue to go up if this trend continues. But we'll see. I just always like drawing these lines, just kind of like seeing how it hits the line and then it continues to go up, hits the line, continue to goes up. So something that you could maybe use in your investing.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see, that's for sure, where it can go from there.
Yes, sir. All right. GM. Let's take a little look at GMC. General Motor Company. I mean, yeah, that pullback's been pretty severe. We kind of started taking a look at it right around then. But let's just put it with the last high point, really. Yeah, I mean, again, same thing with that trend. But looking now, let's just draw a line between the last, really high point, its all-time high, and the current. You can see that trend is also going in the opposite direction. High point, low, comes back up to the line, drop, continues to drop below this line where it is currently. So this is going to continue to go down, in my opinion, at least in the short term. Let's just look at this low to this low. You can see it's not making a trend with the rest of the stock. So this is going to continue going down, in my opinion. I don't think that GM is going to really be, posting big gains in the near future.
I think it's more of a long-term play, GM, in long-term. I mean, it could be a while, the next 4 years. I think, especially oil, this is where I think for a lot of viewers that are looking for some quick cash or quick gains, I would lean towards the sports bets because, like I said, you'll know by the end of the night. I mean, your $50 can turn into $300 in a few hours. So, sometimes if you're looking for quick gains, that's the place to go, especially with all the uncertainty right now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, You've definitely been posting some big gains and definitely outpacing the market by far. Um, so yeah, that's something that you're looking for. Definitely, continue to follow those sports picks, and yeah, I mean that's definitely a good one. And then as
Yeah,
far
and it's all
as
what you like. I mean, like I know people that are really good at day trading, and there's some people that are great at it. I just think I don't have experience day trading, so that's why it is interesting to look at what could be good in the short term. But I just think right now it's very tough because when we look at a lot of these stocks, they're already at a high point, right? So I think the Starbucks, the Visas, the ones that have continued to gone up, those are some interesting ones. Honestly, when I talked about this topic with my dad couldn't find anything. He's like, everything's already trading higher than what I wanted to be at. Along with everything I was looking at, but now we found some ones that we discussed, like Starbucks, Visa. I think those two are great. The another one I really like that we talked about tonight was AMD. Biased, but obviously Bank of America a little high right now, but who knows, right? So these are all ones that I think we picked good ones. I think we're gonna bet on or go with.
yeah, definitely. And as far as like the stock market, it's kind of one of those things. Like for me personally, like I don't always have all the time and to look at certain stocks or like what the news is in the market or following sports teams. I mean, I like watching football and stuff, but as far as like some of these things, like a lot of stocks that we've been covering, as far as like Visa, Apple, that kind of stuff, even the general market, we kind of rag on those and call them boomer gains, but in all reality, that's why you do your retirement portfolio that way and in those large cap investments, because you're not going to make a whole lot of money, but like you don't have to do anything. You just got to keep on dumping money into it. And then once you get ready to retire, hopefully you don't retire in the middle of a pandemic. I would not recommend that. But, it's supposed to continue to go up. Like that's just how it's going to be. It's going to have its highs and it's going to have its lows. But, that's just the one thing with stocks. As far as like me, it suits me in the sense of I just have a couple $1,000s in my account or whatever and just be like, you know what, I want to do this stock, or oh hey, I made 5% today, cool.
Yeah, and I think the number one place that where everyone should start, and what with Aaron and I are starting with, and what we're trying to get everyone on, is that it's key to know, number one, before you begin with anything, what's your excess surplus, or what can you spend in the month with everything going on, right? That's number one. And then number two is, what's your goals? What do you need out of it? Do you want extra money? Do you want your money to grow, right? So with us, it's a clear goal. Like we know what we want. We have a surplus, and we're doing these sports bets and stocks to just say, not have money waiting in our biweekly paychecks where it's so far away. That's not the goal, So that's the whole point of what we're talking about here, is these stocks are all nice positions where instead of waiting on our biweekly paychecks, and not having to do anything, you just sit there. These are all ones that I think could easily make you nice money on the side.
Right, and to piggyback off that, like one of our core fundamentals is, have a set of goals going into this. Know your charter going into this, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to go anywhere. That's a simple fact. It's like, You could follow all of what we're saying, or like, your favorite analyst, whoever that may be. You could watch Kramer or read the, Wall Street Journal. But if you don't have an idea or a sense of what you want to accomplish, there's no point. You might as well just stop. Like there's no point to it. You have to have clear set goals on that, but you can't just rush into things. So
yeah. So for everyone watching, I would just say sit down, maybe map out like a target goal you want to hit money wise, or if you have excess money, what is it going to serve you? Definitely a good place to at least start.
Yeah. And I just really quickly want to give a quick shout out because it was his birthday yesterday. And we've been talking the last couple of days about some real estate stuff and getting into investing with each other. And this guy, we've talked about investing for a long time. And, he's definitely one of those guys that actually, he was the first guy that I really talked to about finances and getting into the stock market. And I'm really proud of how far he's come. He just celebrated a birthday. And Sal, if you're listening, happy birthday, brother. You always support everything I do, and just wanted to thank you. And he has his social medias, Instagram, and everything. And if he gives me permission on next live stream, I'll give him a little shout out in the beginning because he's definitely one of those guys in life where and this is just a rule in general, and shouting him out as well. But you need to find people in your life that are like-minded on your goals, right? What if you find in your life, hey, I want to go get into investing, or hey, I want to be wealthy. Well, the number one way to tell, who someone is by their 5 closest friends, right? That's just a general common rule. So if all your friends are rich or, really ambitious or always getting into investing and talking about this kind of stuff around you, right? If they're constantly bringing up different articles that they read, or, hey, have you heard about the real estate market? Or, hey, I have friends that are into this or that, whatever. Have you read this book? You're going to pick that up. Right? You're not just going to be laying around, playing video games. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, because I do that too. But, as far as when it comes to investing and making a big part of your life, you need those people around you that are going to build you up, that are going to be focusing on the stuff that you want to focus on and growing. But, you also want to help other people with that as well once you get to your point. But, Sal is one of those individuals that, I've known him for a few years, and he's definitely put his heart and soul into learning and investing and being active in all of these things and improving his life in the last few years. And, I'm not sure if he really sees a whole lot of, people saying that in his life, or, how much he really sees. But, if you haven't looked in the mirror, buddy, take a look. You've definitely come far. He just got his black belt. And I know that was a huge part for him. So I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. Happy birthday, brother. And, keep investing, be smart out there. And I know you're starting your real estate license soon. So get that, and maybe we can talk about some investments once this market calms down. But so, yeah, he's just a really important guy. And that's kind of what you were talking about, your goals. Know your goals. Find people. Surround yourself with good people. And you'll be successful in life. So.
Yeah, happy birthday and congrats. That's a huge feat on the black belt. It's so awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was like training, eating right and all that stuff. And as soon as he got his black belt, he posted a picture of a big old cheeseburger. And he was like, finally.
Yeah, that's how you got to treat yourself. Celebrate with a nice burger after all that. Yeah, the black belt is totally something else. I've heard people talk about it, so awesome.
Yeah. And it's
awesome,
not just karate,
right,
and it's not just karate either. It's not jiu-jitsu. I know that the dojo offers jiu-jitsu. I actually trained with him one day, and once I get back to Connecticut, I'll continue that. But yeah, I mean, it's mixed martial arts. I know that much. Not like MMA fighting, but there's definitely like certain aspects in it. But he's got his black belt. He's very into that as well, leading people in classes and teaching. That's definitely part of his soul. So
definitely huge testament to character there. That's for sure.
And I mean,
extremely driven.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you can continue to do that workout, like I know, whatever I ran through was like a fraction of what you can do, but like, bro, I'm telling you, after, like, I thought, whenever you look at yourself in the mirror in the bathroom, like you just took a shower or something, or in the morning, and like you might have your shirt off or whatever, and you look and you're like, damn, I'm in shape. Like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, or like I feel pretty good about myself. And then you go and like you enter the world of some of these guys that are into that kind of stuff, and like
Oh yeah.
they're like, oh yeah, come train with me. And you're like, oh okay, yeah, I can totally do this, And then you just like step foot on the mat, and they're like, all right, throw a few right hooks, and you're just like, bro, I'm tired of shit. How the hell do you do this? And to get a black belt in that, bro, that's just insane.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, at least you run. Like I know that you just had a really good, what was it, a sub 7, 10-mile time?
Yeah, my proudest was I went 11 miles, 6:51 pace.
Whew.
Half marathon in Columbus, I did. My PR so far was 1:25. So for 13 miles, I did about a 6:51 pace. So, but I think with running or anything, lifting weights, it's just all time and dedication.
Yep.
It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of dedication. So a lot of it's just over the years. None of it happened overnight. So once you do it for years, you're in the groove of things. It's a lot easier than when you just start. It takes time for it all to happen. It's for anyone like joining or might feel like they're frustrated at the start, just keep the faith because it does take a while. It does not happen overnight.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I bet you, right? I'm not really into running, but I would bet, all right, if we ever, hang out someday and you get your running shoes on and I'm there, I bet you that I can finish 100-piece nugget meal before you can run. Oh God, a 6-minute pace, 7-minute pace. Let's say 3 miles, a 5K, like 3.1 or 3.2, whatever it is, right? I bet I can finish 100 nuggets before you can run a 5K.
Oh, that'd be an easy one for me.
That's my superpower. No, I got you, man. Dude, I got a big mouth. I could just inhale those chicken nuggets.
That's a bet. I'm down for it. I want to see it.
Yeah, let's
I'll
make
finish
this a
and be
video.
like, hey, what's all this puke doing? Oh, it's just Aaron's nuggets.
Maybe one day we'll get a video of that and post it on the channel. The 100 nugget versus the 100 meter, something like that. I don't know.
It won't be as glorious as the hot dog eating competition, that's for sure. It'll be a little bit different.
What
the X version of the Joey Chestnut.
Oh man.
The uncut version.
We like to have fun every once in a while, but I just want to get on the quick topic of chicken nuggets since we're kind of talking about that. I am a chicken nugget connoisseur. Okay, like not that I eat chicken nuggets like every day or even every week. I haven't had chicken nuggets in a long time, but when it comes to fast food, chicken nuggets hands down. Best place to get them is Wendy's. Don't argue with me. Don't comment. I know I'm right. You're wrong if you say anything different. And I swear the Chick-fil-A people need to get their shit straight and go and try other nuggets because they'll realize how trash Chick-fil-A nuggets are. Not everything in Chick-fil-A, but their nuggets are just not the deal, fam. I'm just saying. Wendy's.
Yeah. I'll say that, first off, on the sports pick so far, Miami Marlins versus Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
Miami Marlins, like I said, up 2-0 already. Top of the second against the Orioles. There's game number 1. Keep the tracking going on this. So looking good so far for our first bet. But on the topic of Chick-fil-A, love their spicy deluxe, but their nuggets, trash. I'll say it. At me. Get angry. I don't give a fuck. Miami Marlins just went up 3-0. So first bet's looking great, but yeah, their nuggets are awful. I think they're tiny. I think they do a great salad, soup, spicy deluxe, breakfast, but their nuggets, that's their weakest category, Chick-fil-A. I think Wendy's nuggets are better any day over Chick-fil-A nuggets.
Wendy's nuggets and fries. McDonald's, sit down. Wendy's has to be on the fries. Like Wendy's in general, if I'm going to go out and get fast food, which I don't often, but if I get fast food, Wendy's. Hands down. Like no matter what I'm into, a burger or nuggets or fries, like whatever it is, Wendy's is the deal. Like Chick-fil-A, I had it once because this one girl I was hanging out with, she was like, oh, you have to try Chick-fil-A, and it was right there. So I was like, all right, you know what? I've heard all the hype. Everybody says Chick-fil-A is awesome, which, you know what? A lot of their stuff could be. I tried, some of their other stuff. The other stuff's pretty good. But I tried these nuggets, and for the money, I mean, if you're going to spend Chick-fil-A money, you might as well go to Wendy's. But the nuggets, like you said, were small, and they had this sweetness to them. I don't know what it was, but the nuggets were sweet. Maybe it was just the bunch that I got, but you cannot have sweet nuggets. You need salty nuggets, if anything. A little bit of salty. And you put some like ketchup or something on there. Oh, buffalo sauce. Oh, dude, spicy nuggets. Don't even get me started. The Wendy's spicy nuggets were the deal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They were.
Oh, man. I don't know if I have any Wendy's near me, but I know I got Popeyes. Popeyes is pretty good, too, if you can find that. And Bojangles is good. Any southern fast food restaurant, there's a reason why they have some diabetes problems down in the South. They have some damn good food. and sweet tea. Oh, dude, if all I did was drink sweet tea and eat fast food and live down south, that's all I would do. Sweet tea and fast food. Oh, man. I don't even want to begin thinking about that. It's so good. Oh. But, man, now I'm hungry.
I will say their waffle fries Chick-fil-A, that is the bomb. Waffle fries are unreal.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So they win in that category. I'll give them the waffle fries and their spicy deluxe. That's what people go there for.
Yeah. You know what's another one that I heard was really good recently? Sonic Breakfast. Sonic Breakfast, they have like this cinnamon twist or whatever thing, like these little cinnamon nugget things. I heard that those are really good. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't really eat fast food too much, but you got to know where the good stuff is. I mean, McDonald's, it's cheap for a reason. The best thing there would probably maybe be the hamburgers or the exit door. I'm not too sure. Taco Bell, the best part is the toilet. And Wendy's, the whole damn menu. And then Chick-fil-A, the waffle fries and the drinks. There was some drink that we got that was really good there.
I like the coffee frosty. Yeah, frosted coffee, their lemonade. All very good.
Yeah. So it's almost like if you live in one of these cities where you have all these options. Like I know Manchester, Connecticut, that's where I got the Chick-fil-A. You could go to the Chick-fil-A for the drink and then Wendy's for the, you get a drink with it anyway at Wendy's. But you just like go around and like pick your favorites from all the different restaurants.
Yeah.
But,
exactly.
Oh man, now I'm gonna be hungry, and I got to go out later too. I have to get my my pet some food. Yeah, that's fun. But anyway,
yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, I got to go out. So who knows? Popeyes is right there, so might have some fried chicken and biscuits. Ooh, oh. Oh, I'm gonna be in heaven. I'm gonna be in little fat boy heaven. I'm gonna be sitting in the parking lot, just munching away, tucked away in a corner so nobody can see my gluttony. Oh man.
Yeah.
But
attaboy. That's how we celebrate.
That's how we celebrate. Oh man. And it's funny too, like one of my coworkers for work, he's really into running as well. And I've been working with him a lot recently. And on one of our meetings that we were talking about client work, we got done with it, checking some stuff in, making sure work was all set. And then we just started talking about fast food, and he agrees, Wendy's as well. But yeah, man, I mean, how did we get on food? How did we get here? I don't know, but now I'm hungry, and it's like 7:45.
We're on the food stocks.
Yeah, that's it. McDonald's stocks, Wendy's stocks. That's all we're gonna do is the fast food portfolio. Maybe it'll help us grow our waistline, just like real fast food.
Next week we'll be on the fast food portfolios.
Hey man, let's do it. Let's pull up some fast food stocks next week. We'll remember to do that little theme for next week, or I'm sorry, next stream Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. So
you know what? On Sunday, I'm gonna show up with some either Wendy's or Popeyes. I'm not sure, but gonna enjoy a little bit of what we invest in.
There you go.
But
oh yeah.
Yeah, so anything else, man? Any other stocks that you want to look at or talk about or anything like that?
I think that's it for me. I mean, I at least can't think of anything else right now.
Yeah, I mean, we covered a few stocks here and definitely had a good time. Like I said, I need to run out to the store, so I want to do that before it gets too late. But anyways, guys and gals, thank you for watching yet another episode and spending another hour and a half with your host, Big Asset, and we have...
So what a miss.
So yeah, we'll continue to look at stocks and we'll cover some fast food stocks this weekend. But as far as the market, I think that we're going to continue to go up here. Just taking a quick look at the main indicators here. We've got the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones. It's going to continue to go up, so you're going to have a safe rest of the week. Like I had said before, I felt pretty confident in this. But yeah, Bitcoin's going to hopefully continue going up, I feel. So we'll continue to follow that as well. But yeah, everyone, follow those sports picks. And what were they again, James? Just for the people.
Oh yeah. So right now, the first game that we picked was Miami Marlins versus the Orioles before it kicked off at 7:05. Right now, just to do a quick update, they are up 5-0. So middle of the second, not even nearly halfway through that game, and they're up 5-0. So that looks great. We had the Chicago White Sox over the Royals, which begins at 8:10, and the last one was the LA Angels versus the Rockies. So I'll put these three in my notepad just to keep a reminder for Sunday to see how they all did, and we could go over them then.
Yep. And so yeah, we'll see everybody on Sunday, and just remember to remain safe out there. Continue to keep your stocks rolling, and invest safely, invest smartly. Always make a decision for yourself. Everything that you heard tonight is opinion and what we believe will happen. We are not gods. Last time I checked, we are not fortune tellers. I can't tell you what to do, but I will tell you one thing. I would I'd personally not go out and Jimmy, you. I wouldn't go out and just finance that Dodge Charger at a 20% interest rate. I can give you that little bit of financial advice. But for the rest of us here that are not looking at brand new 2021 Dodge Chargers, stay safe out there. Continue investing. We're opinion based. Make your own judgments on what we've said. Do your own research. And have a good night.
Take care, everyone.